What if DOC never got into that car accident? What if Ice Cube didn't leave NWA? What if the game never leaves G Unit? What if Teddy Riley never moves to Virginia? What if we got that J. Cole and Kendrick album? What if the RZA would have never had that flood? How would the hip-hop world sound today? Welcome to Hip Hop What Is, the podcast where we dive into the biggest what could have beens in hip-hop history. From iconic album delays to game-changing partnerships that never happened, we reimagine the culture we love and explore its alternative paths. And you are now at Hip Hop What Ifs.
You guys also came out in the era where the DJ and the producer was part of the group, right?
Yeah, sure.
Whether it was, of course, Run DMC, Jam Master Jay, Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, Salt Pepper Spinderella.
Damn, that old.
Gangstar. But Gangstar, Primo, right? And Ninth Wonder was part of Little Brother in the beginning.
Yeah.
He's not here now. So what's the relationship with Ninth Wonder? Is there no more relationship?
There's no more relationship, but there's no, I mean, we talk about it in the doc, but nah, we're just separate entities. You know what I'm saying? That we came in the game together, but we're Little Brother, he's Ninth Wonder, and we're just separate entity that we coexist peacefully. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. But
why didn't he participate in the doc though? Because I mean, this is the Little Brother story.
That's a question for him.
Yeah,
and the story is told, but like I would like to have heard his perspective of it now as well. Did y'all reach out to him?
We absolutely, we reached out. You know what I'm saying? Made it clear that this wasn't gonna be a hit piece. We wasn't coming for nobody next. We're just telling our story in just a beautiful, honest way. And he just chose not to participate, and that's his right to.
I feel like y'all set him up nice, especially when you first told the early story about. I forgot what album it was, but it was an album. I think it was Afu Ra. Executive produced by DJ Premier, and he was like, "Yo, that's what I want to be." And one of y'all encouraged him, like, "Yo, you can be that."
Absolutely. Yeah, man. We were always. I mean, we coming up. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, like, dude, we like 19, 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we're just trying to figure out, let alone trying to figure out how to be artists.
Trying to figure out how to be men.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so, trying to figure out all that stuff at the same time. I mean, man, it's tough. So, but we tried to tell the story just as honestly as we could, and but we can't speak for another person. We can only tell our experience, right. And so he chose not to, and that's his right.
All right, welcome back to Hip Hop What Ifs, the show where we dissect and discuss what if scenarios in the landscape of hip hop history, or maybe even current time. We might have to do a current one, but I don't know. We'll see. But with my brother Kyle, how you doing, my brother?
D, man, back in the building, man. What's good? What's happening? What's cracking?
Everybody, people been just giving us they be getting. I mean, you can't, like, one of them. Somebody sent an email saying, "So what if Kumo D didn't lead a treacherous 3?" I was like, man, I appreciate it. No, and I don't want to brother hear this and think I'm not laughing. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, like, that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
I don't want to speak on things that I don't understand or know about. So, and maybe we'll bring on a guest to someone that was older around that time that would be able to really speak on that. I can't speak on that. We need to bring an expert in for that.
Because I'm older than you, and I don't even remember that. So
right,
that literally may have happened before because I really didn't start getting into hip hop or rap at the time, because it was called rap. 83, 84. That was my time. That was
right. And I think he had left Treacherous 3 already at that point, right?
Yeah. and if he did. There was no social media, so I wasn't introduced to the Treacherous 3. I think I'd heard some songs, but like I wasn't really familiar with their music. And then I found out that he was a former member once he got into the beef with LL.
Right, but where you saw him at first with the Treacherous 3, right?
He was in the movie
B Street.
B Street, yeah.
That's the only time I've ever seen the Treacherous 3 together is in B Street. That's for me.
I think I've seen clips, but it's few and far between.
Right. So that's what I mean. It says, hold on, I'm trying to see when they broke up. Let me see. It says 84.
Okay. Yeah.
They broke up at 84.
Yeah, that would have been the time. Like I said, I was just getting into rap then.
Dang, they dropped the album and then broke up.
Sounds typical.
They were signed to Sugar Hill Records, so how that goes.
Oh, say that.
That's a whole nother scenario with the Sugar Hill Records thing, man.
Facts.
But we're here to talk about probably, I would say, the last group that I bet I was a super champion for
in hip hop. Like where I was just like, as soon as I heard them, I was like, this is my group, like literally my group that I love and adore forever and ever. And that is the group Little Brother, consisting of Phonte, rapper Big Pooh, and producer Ninth Wonder, who started out at North Carolina Central, late 90s, dropped the Listening album with dope tracks such as Yo Yo,
Whatever You Say.
Whatever You Say, and it's in one more single. Relax yourself. You Like It.
Yeah. The way you do.
Those are the three singles off of her. Yes. Yep. And then the one of my favorite ones is an album track, Yo Yo.
Yep. Love the Yo Yo.
But you know that when they came in, it felt like we were getting, and the crazy part is none of us knew that they were. Well, you may have known this. Let me not speak for you. I immediately didn't realize they were from North Carolina until like I started digging into the album. Because the first song I heard was Whatever You Say.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, what is this? And I did you ever go to Vegas when it was this record store called Hip Hop Site?
Never been to Vegas.
Oh, you never been to Vegas?
I've been everywhere but Vegas.
It's going old school internet. hiphopsite.com used to be like a music website, kind of like DX, allhiphop.com, but it was a little bit more underground hip hop. They would put up different posts of different stuff. That's how I got back. I got into MF Doom through that website. As well. But so they had that, but then they had an actual physical store in Vegas.
Wow.
That was a big record store in North Vegas, I believe. No, South Vegas. It was close to UNLV. And I found that I owned it, and then I was like, oh snap. I'm finna go over there. So I took a taxi back in the day, kids, before you get I got in a taxi. It was like, can you take me to 826? And it, read off what I wrote down here and took me there. And the guy, he was playing, and I was like, man, I want to get that Whatever You Say. He's like, oh yeah, that's on the Listening. So I copped the Listening. Then I went and got Ninth Wonder remixed God's Son.
Yep.
I got God's Stepson. I got that. I got the Ninth Wonder when he remixed. It was another one. Was it Stillmatic? Maybe. Yeah, it was. Illmatic. I mean, it's not Stillmatic. It was something like that.
The one with Damn, I can't remember who he did that with. Did he do that by himself, or did he do?
No, I think he did it with somebody else. It was Ninth
with Elzai. Was it Elzai?
It may no. He just remixed Nas Stillmatic.
Okay.
I got that, and then I got I can't remember the other drum, but it was them three, and I was like, cool. He was like, yeah, this is all these. They out of North Carolina. I was like, word. And then I started listening on the way back because with my CD player. And I was like, oh, they were saying they from North Carolina. So did you know when they first dropped, they were from in your area?
Nah, man, and I'm from South Carolina. I had no idea. And what was interesting was they originated basically on North Carolina Central's campus, which is a historically black college and university, HBCU. And I graduated from South Carolina State, another HBCU. But the thing was, by the time, because they're younger than me, by the time I got on to Little Brother, I'd moved to Atlanta, which is where I live now. And it's funny, D, because when I think about my origin with Little Brother, I don't even remember where I was like when I first started listening. I want to say I think my first listening to Little Brother was Chitlin Circuit 1.5. I think that was
so
it.
You had to go back and go.
Yes, I had to go back to the listening because I didn't catch the listening when it came out. I caught Chitlin Circuit 1.5 and then the Minstrel Show.
Yep.
And then, but I will say this, man, and I tell people all the time, like Little Brother was, and they will forever be one of my favorite groups. I can't tell you that they're the best hip hop group ever because they're not Run DMC, but they're one of my favorites because Little Brother represented, like, for me, what it was almost like a combination of A Tribe Called Quest and Outkast, which are two of the greatest hip hop groups I think ever. And for me, they were young, they were black, they were Southern, they looked like us, they talked like us. And I think one of the things that always appealed to me was that they rapped about stuff that we could really relate to. Like I ain't nobody that I wasn't no hustler. I wasn't slinging no dope. You know, they rapped about regular shit. And it was just like, it was so refreshing, man. So one of my favorites back then I had it on a mixtape was I think it was called Last Day. You remember that one?
From Lil Brother?
Well, it's mostly Phonte.
Right, he's talking about his last day at work.
Yeah, his last day at work, and he talked about how he came to
work. He worked at a clothing store.
Yeah, he worked at a clothing store, and how he stole clothes as he left and everything. Yep. And he was like, when people at work found out that he could rhyme, that they would ask him to rap for the people in corporate or whatever like that. It's a very funny song, but it's very relatable. But like I said,
it's on the Justice for All mixtape. That's what it's
Justice for All mixtape. Shout out to the Justice League, which was a part of their collective or their crew. But yeah, that was my introduction to Little Brother, man. And I literally was hooked as a fan from that point forward.
Yeah, look, I tell people all the time, man, Phonte's in my top 5 MCs of all time.
Dude is so talented.
Like, because and he's not the most. I think he's super lyrical. Let's not get it twisted.
Super lyrical.
But I relate to his lyrics some of the most of any MC directly. Like in my life, I relate to those lyrics that he's spitting the most. Even though mine's my favorite, I relate to Phonte's lyrics way more as me as a man with family and a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Very relatable content. And I mean, like, he really comes off as just the dude next door. And you can appreciate that because we know people like that. And if you live long enough, you would have lived like that to some point.
Yeah, he got this line on the listening for I'm trying to remember the song now. He said it's him and Phonte, now him and Big Pooh, rapper Big Pooh going back. He's like, I want a girl when I want a girl, and when I don't want a girl, I want a girl who understands that. And he said that's some hard shit to explain.
It is. I mean, like that. I've quoted that line so many times. When you and I used to blog back in the day, I put that on the blog a couple of times.
It's gonna slow it down.
Yep, slow it down. But yeah, it's that is so. And as a young man coming up, we've all been there. When you want that girl, and you know when you don't want a girl, and you just need a girl to understand where you at in that particular space in your life.
And it's nothing. And he says it comes with maturity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, man. I that guy, man. He and rapper Pooh too. Both of them have delivered some bars, man, that really I think have stood the test of time. And like I said, I've just been a fan for so long. And so when we bounce ideas off of each other, when you hit me up, he's like, yo, I want to talk about what if Little Brother broke up. I was like, perfect.
And let's talk about Ninth Wonder, who is he? I think it's a weird. I want to say he's not in a weird place, but his legacy, I guess, is in a weird place because he sits in between like this area of hip hop of just your general purist, but he's still been able to work in the space of a little bit more mainstream because of his work with Jay-Z and Young Guru and Young Guru sits in the same space as him as well. Right. He's another producer that sits in that middle bar. Just Blaze would be another one I feel as well that sits there on that line of like, okay, like where you want to go, but that's the and it's more of a great thing that he's able to sit there in that lane. But his production on those Little Brother joint,
sick. Sick. And you're right, man. I mean, like Ninth Wonder was a guy who could work with an artist like Mirrors or Boot Camp Click or anybody like that, an underground hip hop artist, and then work with the likes of Jay-Z. So I mean, like the range as far as the people that he was working with, particularly at that particular time, was crazy. And he, before he left the group of Little Brother, I mean, he laced them with some great beats, and as a trio, they were pretty damn good. I don't think there's any denying that.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at his production discography, man. I forgot he did Church on the De La Soul, the Grind Day, which I've had arguments with people. I think that might be De La Soul's most complete album.
The Grind Day?
Yep.
For me, it's De La Soul is dead.
Huh?
For me, it's De La Soul is dead, or maybe Stakes is High. But Stakes is High is a little personal to me because
it's Dilla.
Because of Jay Dilla. Yeah, that's my.
But
guy.
no, I'm saying complete because it's got so many different flavors in it.
Oh, no question.
For the Grind Day, that's why I've always been like, man, the Grind Day. If it came out at a different time, I think we would have had a different respect for it. It's just that they came out. It came out a little bit younger. But if you look at his discography, he's got MOP on here. He got Mary J. Blige, Boot Camp Click, like you said. He's got Obi Trice,
Destiny's Child,
Erykah Badu, Honey. Dang, I forgot he did that.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I forgot he did.
Honey. Yep, Honey.
Skyzoo, Erykah Badu again, Sadat X, Christopher Williams.
Ninth Wonder has worked with just about everybody.
And then Rhapsody, who he's discovered.
Man, listen, one of the greatest female MCs, period. If you're not up on Rhapsody, get familiar.
And then he's been doing these. I know during the pandemic he was doing them dinner party albums with, I believe it was him, Terrace Martin, and Robert Glasper that they were doing that were fire too, like instrumental kind of albums. I loved
his lives during the pandemic with the Fast Auntie Lounge lives that he would do. Man, I would be in here jamming, watching Ninth do his thing.
And he got Big Crit, Raps, like Nipsey. I forgot he was on Nipsey.
Oh yeah. He had Nipsey was on his album, on his Ninth Wonder's solo album.
Yeah,
in fact that's the first place I heard Nipsey.
And he did Anderson .Paak first the two of the joints on his album. Oh yeah,
and you can't forget about Kendrick.
Yeah. So didn't he do stuff on Pimp a Butterfly too? Or no, am I tripping?
No, that was Damn.
He only did Damn. Okay.
Well, Rhapsody was on To Pimp a Butterfly, but that was because of the relationship that she got with Kendrick and through Ninth. You know what I'm saying? So Ninth has been tapped in with TDE for a long. They were tapped in together for a long time before Rhapsody or Kendrick really blew.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like his discography is crazy, y'all. Like you just go look at his production and what all he's been done. Or whatnot. But so let's jump into the what if scenario on this. Let's say they stay together. Where is
the I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Boyz II Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
The landscape, if they stayed together.
Okay, so I got to ask you a question first before I answer that question. So which breakup are we talking about? Because Little Brother...
They had 3 iterations.
Yeah, they've had a couple of iterations of breakups. They started out as a trio with Ninth Wonder, rapper Big Pooh, and Phonte, and then they broke up unceremoniously on Twitter. Do you remember them breaking up on Twitter?
Yep.
I watched that live.
That was in 08, 09.
In fact, if you got a second, I could read it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I pulled up the tweets because what happened was there was an issue as far as there was a song called Star that Little Brother had done that Ninth Wonder produced. And the backstory was this song was recorded in like 05, 06 at Young Guru's crib sometime after the release of the Minstrel Show, their second studio album. The song was intended for Left Back, which would have been Little Brother's third album that Ninth Wonder wasn't on.
Get Back. It ended up being called Get Back.
Yeah. So as a bonus track, and Ninth Wonder didn't want to use it. So Phonte said Phonte goes on Twitter and says, hey, Ninth Wonder didn't want to use it. He tagged Ninth Wonder on it. He said that's fine. He's like, in any event, I'm not going to let anybody stop me from getting music to my fans. Fuck that. Enjoy and always thank you for listening. So after he left that message, Ninth responded. He said, let people talk, bro. Only if they knew the real story, he said, responding to Phonte. And then Phonte said, well, tell your side or shut the fuck up. And then Ninth said, Phonte, you're not a tough guy. None of us is. So kill all that noise and niggas ain't shutting up. And after that, they stopped going back and forth. And then that was it. They literally broke up on Twitter. And like, as somebody who followed them, seeing that, and this exchange went back and forth maybe for about 20 or 30 minutes. This was like before the era of going quote unquote viral. I gotta tell you, D, it was mind-boggling because again, at this point in time, they are my favorite rap group.
Me too.
And I'm literally watching them break up over Twitter. And it wasn't so it was about the song, but it was also big. There were bigger issues with the group. Because at the time, Ninth was doing other things and they didn't have a problem with Ninth doing other things. But the thing was that he wasn't like, they needed him. They basically said, look, you either in the group or you're not in the group. Mm-hmm. If you're not in the group, that's cool, but you can't do it. We can't have a halfway producer. And so they ended up going their separate ways. So that was the first iteration of their breakup. And then subsequently, a couple of years later, because of, if you watch their documentary, which is a great documentary, when you finish watching this podcast episode, go watch May the Lord Watch. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. They detail as to how now they become a duo, and Phonte and then Big Pooh, they go their separate ways because Big Pooh wants to stay on a record label. And Fonte's looking at the numbers is like, nah, man. I mean, what does it benefit us? We're not.
But also, I think that in that situation, I think Phonte had the benefit of doing foreign exchange and knowing like, yo, like I'm getting to see these other different numbers for doing independent stuff.
Exactly. He at that point in time, he realized that going independent was better for them, and Pooh still wanted the security of a major label. And I get it. I actually get both sides of it.
Yeah.
And so they broke up as Little Brother. And then they got back together. They were doing a show called Art of Cool. I think this was 2018, I think.
When all three of them got back together.
Yeah, all three of them got back together for the show. Because what happened was after Phonte and Pooh fell out, Ninth and Phonte became cool again, and they squashed whatever beef they had, but they still had beef with Pooh. Unbeknownst to us, Pooh gets sick, and Phonte reaches out to Pooh. They mend their friendship or what have you, and so they back cool again. And the three of them, but now they're not talking about doing anything. So anyway, they have this concert. Royce the 5'9" was supposed to come. It was a concert in Raleigh, I think, and Royce couldn't make it. The people reached out to Phonte and said, hey, can you come down and fill in for Royce? And he was like, well, what if I can get Ninth and Pooh? And it was like, word, for real? Like, so now
you really do that?
Yeah, can you really do that? And so it was like Little Brother again. So long story short, Pooh reaches out to Ninth. Ninth said, okay, I can show up. Pooh is coming from Charlotte, which is 2 or 3 hours away. And they do the show, and nobody knows about this until they actually hit the stage. And I just remember that night, man, the Twitter was blowing up like Little Brother's back together again. And so we were so amped up. And then, they were talking about, I guess the next day they got together and they was like, hey, we can do this again. We can make this a thing. And so they started, working together again, getting ready to make this album. And then it kind of fell apart again. Now it gets kind of tricky as to who you believe, but Pooh and Phonte have maintained that at this point, they still don't feel like Ninth is all the way in.
And they were like, wasn't he like not trying to show up for shows?
Yeah, he was like, well, I could do these shows sometimes. I could be here, I could be there. And it was kind of like the same thing. It was like, look, bro, if we're gonna be little brother, the three of us again, we need you you either all the way in or all the way out. And so he was like, I can't be at this date out, or maybe you can get DJ Flash to fill in here like that. And then they didn't particularly care for some of the beats that Ninth had submitted to them for this upcoming album. And Phonte was, I remember Phonte saying this in an interview. He's like, man, give us the hot shit. Give us the same shit you give Jay-Z. Don't be giving us no throwaway beats.
Don't be giving us don't give us the Roy Lees. Remember the
yeah, exactly. So long story short, at that point, Pooh, Ninth, and Phonte, and Pooh say, look, here's your beats back. We're cool. We gonna keep it as a duo. And at that point, they have not, to my knowledge, that was the last time they spoke, and that was 2018. So they've had 3 breakups. So saying all of that, going back to your question,
ready to set the table for everybody because it's been multiple breakups.
Yeah, it's been multiple breakups. If they had stayed together, I think they still would have had the same amount of success, maybe a little bit more. I think the thing that I love about how they've been able to move and maneuver is that even though Ninth became a bigger name than them with his work with Jay-Z and Destiny's Child and working with Erykah Badu and all these people, it didn't hamper the shine that Phonte and Big Pooh had. So I
actually disagree with you a little bit.
Really?
I think the group stand together benefited rapper Pooh more than everybody.
You think so?
Yeah, you got to think Phonte had Foreign Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole that they were getting Grammy nominations and stuff like. You got to think like that's a whole nother. Then he's working with Questlove and doing stuff with him. Like there's a whole nother path of life that Phonte had, and I'm not sure what everything Big Pooh has going on, but I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing, and this is where I think I disagree, because I think Pooh was able to venture off and do a couple of solo things himself. He eventually became he was managing JID. And so he had a couple of different irons in the fire. So I think his name and his reputation as such a hard worker and also an incredible MC, I think he would have been fine either way. I think it would have been, for us, because we initially saw them as a trio, I think it would have been great if they would have been able to stay together. But I don't necessarily know that their paths would have been that much more different. Maybe they become a little bit bigger, a little bit more well-known because Ninth was basically more well-known than they were. But ultimately, I mean, those brothers are, all 3 of them are talented within their own right. So I think they would have been fine.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that Ninth had to make do you think that if Ninth did not get on that Jay-Z track, do you think that is that the thing that kicks him off to get and be able to do this trajectory work? That's on Threats, for everybody doesn't know. The Black album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that definitely put Ninth in another stratosphere. To be on Threats, on the Jay-Z album, and because keep in mind, folks, at this particular time that Jay-Z gets on this album, Jay-Z doesn't know who Ninth Wonder is. He literally was discovered or brought to him by a young guru who is Jay-Z's engineer. And so if Guru doesn't hear Ninth Wonder's beats and bring him on, maybe he doesn't ever meet Jay-Z. And if he doesn't meet Jay-Z, maybe he doesn't work with Destiny's Child. Maybe he doesn't eventually work with Erykah Badu. But I think Ninth Wonder his talent would have still gotten him in different circles. Now, would he have been on the same level as some of the people like you mentioned, as far as producing like Kanye or Just Blaze or somebody like or that nature? Who knows? But I think his talent would have still gotten him in those rooms. I think it probably would have taken him a little bit longer to get there, though.
Yeah, and do you think that they would be, if they stayed together? Do you think that they would have gotten that love, as like a De La would have, or they would have been able to get pushed through? Because that was if people don't remember, that was the big issue with the listening, that they put so much money into this album because they thought it was going to be able to push them a little bit more into the mainstream light. But then you have the controversial BET saying they didn't want to play Loving It because it was too. It wasn't. Well, I forgot what that.
It was too black. It was too. Too
like
smart.
Too education or something.
Too educated. Too educated. Yeah, you know, BET was
like too educated.
You know, at that time, BET was about playing, you know, tip drill on BET Uncut. You know, like they didn't want to have something that was positive or something that you could get something from. BET was on straight the ignorant shit. So, that's a good question. I think because, and I know I'm biased, right? I think because of their talent, I think Little Brother still would have ascended probably to the same heights that they did.
Oh, too intelligent for a BT audience is the direct quote.
Yeah, just imagine that being too intelligent for your little music channel.
Yeah.
But I think had they stayed together, I think their talents would have propelled them, you know, to similar heights. They probably could have gone a little bit further, but you don't know if, you know, ultimately if Ninth's side work would have gotten in the way of the group. I think ultimately they could have maintained it, but I think one of the big things that we lose sight of is that they're young. They're really young. So like they literally and I heard Phonte mention this on a podcast once. He said like we literally went from college to having a record deal. And so like we knew each other.
Yeah, they're only like a year or two older than me.
Yeah, you know, they knew each other for like maybe 2 or 3 years in college. So you think about some of the homies and people you ran with at Iowa State, or I think about some of the people I ran with at South Carolina State. And in that time frame that you're in school, and then now we're in business together. Now our lives are intertwined. And then Phonte had a kid, and then I think Phonte got married. So, you know, all of these things are happening. And so it's natural. You kind of feel like you're being pulled in different directions. And again, we didn't have some of the technology that we have now. You know, a lot of people were finding out about Little Brother through message boards, like we mentioned earlier. Okay Players, where they got it started. So it was, I'm not gonna say it was bound to happen, but we've seen those kind of things happen to, you know, quote unquote regular people, because that time when you finish college, it's a very transitional period in your life for a young man.
Yeah, because now that I'm looking at their ages, they're rapper Pooh and Phonte are both 45, 46. Ninth Wonder is 50. So okay. I'm wondering if he was big brother in them at the beginning of this all.
Could have been. I mean, you just don't know, because like the idea of it sounded
they're
to
only
me
21, 22. He's 27.
Right. So
when they drop.
So he's moving a little bit further along, and you know, they're in a position where you know, he's getting some success. And they understood, I think, okay, you go over here and do this record with Jay-Z. That's good. That's a good look for us.
Yeah.
Because but it also is gonna, you know, create more work for you as far as other MCs going to want to get on your stuff, but it's also going to propel Little Brother a little bit higher than where they've been. So I don't think and again, this is me being a fan, I don't think there was any jealousy. I think they were genuinely happy. I think the thing that I've learned and studied about Little Brother is the friendship. There was a strong friendship between the three of them, and there's an even stronger friendship between the rapper Big Pooh and Phonte. And I think what I've learned over the years, and especially through the documentary We Made the Lord Watch, it's really about their friendship. And they have a great friendship, a brotherhood. And they went 3 or almost 4 years without talking to each other. And so, and I always, Phonte is somebody I would love to interview for my podcast, but one of the questions that nobody never asked was like, I always want people to ask him, like, what was that time like when you weren't talking to Pooh? You know, because that's, I mean, and he said, you know, the thing that got him to reach out to Pooh was finding out that he was sick. Like he was, you know, I'm not gonna say he was on his deathbed, but he was down really bad. Sick. Yeah, he was down bad. So, you know, and what if, God forbid, something had happened to Pooh and he never got a chance to square everything away with him? You know what I'm saying? So I think their friendship and their brotherhood, I think, means a lot. And I think you see that. I got a chance to see them in concert in 2019 after May the Lord Watch, the album dropped. I saw him here in Atlanta, and I'm going to see him next month when they come here for their final tour. Their brotherhood, I think, means more than anything. So if you got somebody, particularly for young black men like us, if you got another guy in your life that you love and he's like your brother, you know, that stuff kind of supersedes everything. So I think, long story short, I think that's the biggest thing that resonates with me about the two of them as little brother. You know, that friendship and that brother. I would like to see them be cool with Ninth Wonder. I don't think they wish him any ill will, but even with the documentary, you know, they reached out to him, gave him a chance to tell his side of the story. He never responded to their request. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I mean, I don't know that they've spoken to him since they stopped speaking in 2018.
Yeah, because I know I just wonder if Ninth is just like, that's just that older part of my life. I'm doing something different.
I think so.
And it's just like,
but you know what? To Ninth's credit though, I will say this much: Ninth has never, at least publicly, I've never heard him say anything bad about Pooh or Phonte.
No, you are correct.
So
besides that spat, besides that one little
spat, besides that spat on Twitter, they've managed to keep it. And even in the documentary, knowing that they did not speak to Ninth, I thought they did a really good job as far as telling their story and not making Ninth look crazy or anything like that. They literally just sounded like some dudes just went their separate ways.
Just a disagreement.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think they felt like, okay, the first time it happened, we went our separate ways, then we figured it out, we came back together. And then, you know, we tried to do it again, and it seemed like you're still on the same program. If you're on the same program, they just like, cool. And I remember Phonte and Pooh saying this on a podcast interview. They literally iterated like, there's no beef. Like, we don't hate the dude. We don't want him to.
We just got to keep it moving.
Yeah, we got to go in different directions. We don't wish any ill will. You know, I don't know if they necessarily gonna dap him up if they see him in public, and who knows? Maybe they have. I don't know. I know. Unfortunately, Ninth's older brother passed away during the pandemic, and I, just as a fan, I wonder if they reached out to him.
And it's like, hey, man, you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I don't know that they did. I don't know that they didn't. But you know, but I think they were just guys going in their separate ways, and I think they're cool with where. And if you ask Ninth Wonder, I think he's cool where he is. Pooh and Phonte will tell you they're definitely cool where they are. So it kind of worked out. And the thing is, D, is that I think a lot of fans will be like,
I'm Doja. They sleep. Yeah, we part of Just Posted Podcast, man. The best show on this network. Come on, check, girl.
Seriously, man. Just Posted. It's just me and Doja sitting back talking about what the fuck going on in the world and the streets.
We said labor of love. He said labor of love. I ain't say that shit. Shout out to you know what I'm saying, everybody coming to watch though, man. We really appreciate y'all. Holla at y'all later.
Hey man, this nigga just tall for no reason.
I'm gone.
And he do regular jobs. Don't forget that.
oh man, we miss Little Brother the Trio. If you think about it, Little Brother's been a duo way longer than they've been a trio. So
yeah. I mean, you got to think that's 04 to 07, 08.
Yeah,
Little Brother on.
It wasn't long.
4 years. So you think about, they did the Get Back album, they did the Right Back album. Is a duo, and then Lord made Laura Watch.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And as well as their solo projects. So, you know, so they've been, you know, as Little Brother, they've been a duo way longer than they've been a trio. So there's still some.
No, I'm tripping. The listening's 03, Mr. Show's 05. So they Get Back comes out 07. So I'm saying they broke up in 05, I'm gonna say 06.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's 07 low key, because like you said, that's when there was supposed to be songs on there that he produced.
Yeah.
So maybe like 07 they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about, you're saying 4 years, basically. They were together for trio.
And so they've been a duo way longer than that. And they've made more music as a duo. And so, you know, they and like I said, it on the surface, at least to me, it looks like everybody's cool with where they are. So if you cool where you at, I can't hate on it.
Yeah, I mean, even with but is this one of those where them breaking up? I think it wasn't good for everybody. But think about all the things that spurned out of this. I don't know. Do we get like other like more instrumental artists like Zoe? Do we get Crisis producing more?
Yeah.
Do we get Nicolay? Do we get Zoe the tall guy?
Tall black guy.
Tall black. I'm just thinking of people like that because of them having to be in creative different spaces, bringing people in.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point, D. I think given the fact that Little Brother did break up when they did, and given the fact that the foreign exchange brand expanded, so then you got Darian Brockington, you got Cy Smith, you got like you said, Zoe,
Carletta Dunn.
Yeah, I mean, like the list goes on and on. So and then subsequently Be My Fiasco, you know, people that have, you know, are under the foreign exchange tree, if you will. I mean, we had a crazy album with the Tigolero album with
Eric Roberson.
Roberson. So, you know, that right there made them, you know, kind of do different things. And like I said, with Pooh, he went on to manage Jid, who was one of the hottest upcoming rappers coming out of the South.
Is he still managing him?
I think he is. He may not be on the day-to-day basis. I know at one point in time, up until maybe a couple of years ago, he was doing the day-to-day stuff. I think he's probably peeled it back a little bit because Jid is, you know, with the Dreamville stuff.
Yeah, he's getting super big now.
Yeah, so I mean, like but even having a piece of that and just doing his own thing. I mean, like he dropped a solo album maybe 2 years ago. That is incredible. I mean, a super dope album. Go check that out if you haven't heard it.
Check that out. Yeah, that was a couple of albums ago from.
That album is cold. And then Phonte's done his thing. And again, the May the Lord Watch was their swan song, and I think it's that album for me. I still listen to that album. That album ain't left my rotation. So
it's a dope album.
And they didn't need Ninth Wonder. You know what I'm saying? And Ninth Wonder has gone on and done production for a boatload of artists. So I think the breakup really, you know, it benefited everybody. And but to your point, maybe it had to happen for them to really take off, you know, on the independent level. And I mean, like I've heard Phonte say this a million times. Like he'll never work he'll always be independent. And you can't blame him because dog, you put out the foreign exchange and all of a sudden you get Grammy nominated, those checks go up. You know, your price goes up. You know, and then Phonte was able to, you know, dabble into TV and, you know, working with Sherman Showcase and, you know, with Questlove on the podcast and stuff. So he's had, and so
remember the show The Breaks?
He wrote for The Breaks. He wrote for The Breaks. So I mean, like being able to tap into Hollywood and everything like that. I mean, like that opened a whole bunch of doors that maybe if he's just Phonte the rapper in as 1/3 of Little Brother, those doors probably don't ever get open. So like I said, I genuinely believe that the breakup worked for everybody. As a fan, you probably sucks because we wanted to see them as a trio, but right now I'm cool with Phonte and rapper Big Pooh.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, those one of those things that like it worked out for everybody, you know. We selfishly would want to see all that.
No question. But
creatively, it may just be this is what it is, you know. I mean, you don't see Lionel Richie perform with the Commodores no more, you know. And I mean,
right. And you know, to your point though, we never really think about it. We didn't really see a lot of breakups in rap. You know, probably the first one that I saw was, you know, Ice Cube leaving NWA.
Is that the first one? No, I mean, I guess some early we said the Treacherous 3.
Yeah, well, right. Ice Cube leaving NWA is the first for me.
Impact.
But the thing about that was that we knew that there was venom behind it, you know. And then once we heard the diss records, then we was like, oh, they
beefing.
Yeah, they beefing. So we didn't know how that was going to go.
Is that the first high-profile breakup you think in rap? That's got to be, right?
Yeah, that I can think of. Because, I mean, think about it, D. You were younger, but
yeah,
NWA was the world's most dangerous crew. That's what they were referred to as. And so, and Ice Cube was the leader of NWA. And for him to leave, now we didn't know initially, because again, there was no social media, we didn't know why he left. We just knew that he left. And then when they dissed him,
that's when it came all out.
That's when it came out. Because he was kind of quiet about it. And then they dissed him on Niggas for Life, and then he came with no Vaseline, and there was no response.
I know they responded.
That response don't count.
Yeah, I was like, on what's it called? They got the didn't they diss him on 100 Miles on the Run?
No, that was after that. I mean, there was no record response to Straight Out of. I'm sorry, no Vaseline. Nope.
It was so always up to something. He's like, I was talking to you, bitch. O'Shea. Like I thought.
Again, they never came with a real response to this.
It was just little jabs here and there. Nothing.
I mean, what could they say? The man said, "I never have dinner with the president, and when I see your ass again, I'll be hesitant. Now I think you a snitch. Throw a house nigga in the ditch. Half pint, bitch." Yeah. Come on, man. In my humble opinion, the greatest diss song ever.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe the NWA is probably the first high profile one.
Yeah, I can't really think about anybody else going, in a successful group going solo, or just breaking up like that. So, and I'll be honest, we didn't know what it was going to be for Ice Cube because NWA at the time seemed to be very powerful. So, but Ice Cube,
and we was like, where is he at? Because Dre, the one producing,
Mm-hmm.
Everything you're like, oh, I think it's gonna be. I don't know where Dre's gonna be at. Like,
and then subsequently, then Dre leaves. So after that, it was on. But for them to go their separate ways, like I said, I think for them, and I mean, don't get it twisted. The Listening and the Minstrel Show, two great hip hop albums. Mm-hmm. Two great hip hop albums. If you have not heard them, do yourself a favor and go listen. Like Phonte say, run them numbers up.
Yeah, run them up. Give them the love. Run them up.
Because those are some great, great albums. I would have liked to have seen their crew, the Justice League, seen some of those other guys get shine too as well. Because I heard them on mixtapes, but everybody else kind of, and maybe if Little Brother stays together. Maybe maybe they can. Those guys can get up because they're going to get production from Ninth Wonder at this point. So
shout out to my boy Van, who's from here from St. Louis Vandalism. He was signed to Justice League.
Okay, wow,
he's actually on Dream Merchant Volume 2.
Okay,
and he's on Justice for All. That was it Justice for All the album as well. But he's on the song on I know on Ninth Dream Merchant is him, Memphis Bleak, and Royce.
Oh wow. Okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since I've heard of Dream Merchant.
Yeah, it's on there on Dream Merchant Volume 2.
Okay,
boy Van is on there, and he's on the Justice, like I said, Just For Us album too.
Mm-hmm.
With a whole bunch, I guess I believe it's some new jacks on there. Actually, I'll tell you the exact track now, but this is one of those that we just have to let it go, y'all. Like, and this is I did this mostly for myself, y'all, for this episode, like letting it go. Like, we're not gonna get all this back. This is not gonna happen, and it's fine.
I gave up on the idea of Ninth being a part of the group. I gave that up when they shelved the idea of him, to do May the Lord Watch. When we heard, and see, by this time, this is 2018 going into 2019, we literally heard that Ninth was going to be a part of the group, and then we heard Ninth wasn't going to be a part of the group. And when I heard he wasn't going to be a part of the group, and they weren't kicking it like that anymore, I was like, okay.
You knew.
I was like, okay, well, they ain't seeing eye to eye, and they ain't cool, or at least as fly as maybe I thought they were. And that's cool because sometimes you just, with other people, that's just where you are. And this is something, D, I know as a man, we realize as men, sometimes you just are where you are with certain people. And no matter what happens, maybe the past is all we have together in common. And unfortunately, that's what it is. But I mean, if that's all it is, who knows, D, man? Maybe one day there's a Soul Train Music Award or a BET Award. There's a BET Icon Award, and they recognize Little Brother, and they want to have all three of them up there. And maybe we get a moment like that 10, 15 years from now. But Phonte said he ain't doing no damn behind the scene, but behind the music.
Yeah.
He said he ain't doing this shit.
And then he got a cocaine habit. Like, what? It's in all of them, man. You'd be like, dang.
Yeah, it's always somebody with a cocaine habit or somebody died. Yeah, it's all, man. If you not to get off the subject, but the one with the DeBarge family.
Oh, that's the worst of those unsung.
Bruh, I had no unsung. Oh my god, I had no idea it was that bad.
And then you'd be like, and then Bunny gets on cocaine. Like, God dang. Everybody got on it, and everybody was getting abused.
I was legit low key sad after. I was like, "Damn!"
It's the most depressing unsung.
It is
the
listen,
man.
Unsung BET unsung.
It's that one and the high five one right after the high five was right behind that one.
Yeah, the high five one was tough because I mean, like I know Tony Thompson had passed, but I didn't realize like everybody else was like in just jammed up.
Like you had crazy. You had one dude get locked up, the other dude in a car accident, the other dude killed his wife.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
I'm like, dude,
yeah, but then if you wanna, well, I'm not gonna say you will be sad if you watch the BET unsung. That on DeBarge, that thing was depressing. I was like, man, let me go outside.
I'm like, man, no wonder the Jacksons trying to get her away from James DeBarge.
Yeah. I was like, man, I had to go outside and shoot some jumpers. I was like, man, I gotta get my mood back up. But yeah, Phonte, he said there won't be a BET unsung on Little Brother. He's like, he ain't doing it. So maybe one day, man. Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe it's something else is not like, as salacious. I wouldn't say all them unsungs are salacious, but nothing like that where it's like this honoring them.
Right.
Because like, you know what, man, what happened to hip hop honors, man?
Came and went.
Like that's something that should have been coming on every year.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future.
I think that was something that they were in between because if I'm not mistaken, those were on VH1.
Yep.
And VH1 was kind of vying for BET's audience. And, so it wasn't the BET site at that particular time. I think that's when the BET started doing the cypher for the BET Hip Hop Awards, which became, the feature part of their awards. But it came and went. It was a great idea, I thought, because it gave you a chance to literally recognize and give some of hip hop's pioneers their flowers.
They did it till 2010. They did it for 7 years.
Wow.
Until 2010. And
it seemed, I'm surprised it's been that long. I would have guessed it was probably shorter than that. That's crazy.
And then they brought it back in 2016.
Okay.
2017. So 2017 was the last year.
I must have missed those years.
So
I don't even remember that.
2016 is honorees of Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, Salt and Pepper, Lil' Kim. So that was a woman's
ladies first. Mm-hmm.
And then the year after that was Mariah Carey. Okay, Mariah Carey, Jermaine Dupri, Martin Lawrence, Master P, Hype Williams.
So hip hop honors Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
come on, man. See there you go, right there.
See, this is why this was the last year.
That's why it probably went away because of bullshit like that.
Yeah, this is the last year. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
If you'd have said Lauryn Hill, okay, maybe, but Mariah, come on, man. She ain't hip hop. I mean, yeah, she got a couple of songs, but no, come on, man. What are we doing?
And it took her a while to come into hip hop too. She got forced into it by ODB. She wasn't checking for no R&B, no hip hop stuff until that fantasy pop. And then she was like, huh. Then you started doing like Honey and working with Bad Boy.
Oh, of course.
Jermaine Dupri or Jamie Dupri, as some people call him. Yeah, but man, Little Brother, man, we wanted to salute y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
And give a hip hop what if with it. We'll see how the Little Brother contingent feels and loves Little Brother as much as we did. What can people hit you up at, Kyle?
You can catch me all over the place. I'm all over the internet. The 12 Kyle podcast. You can find it wherever you find podcasts. We drop new episodes on Thursdays and Sundays. And the Rap Soul podcast. That's my music podcast where we talk about music from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s when it comes to rap, hip hop, soul, and R&B. Listen, it's the best music podcast you never heard, so check it out. Those episodes drop on Monday and Friday, so you get 4 episodes from me each week. So check me out.
So before they honored Missy twice on Hip Hop Honor. They honored her in 2016.
That's why they canceled it.
And they honor her in 2007.
Bro, you could have honored Bahamadia, Salt and Pepper. You could have honored a whole bunch of people.
The first one had great. I guess the first one in 2004 was DJ Hollywood, was Cool Herc, Charisma, Public Enemy, Run DMC, Rocksteady Crew, Sugar Hill Gang, Tupac, the Graffiti Movement was the honorees.
Can't beat that. No, nobody in there. The second
one was Big Daddy Kane, the movie Boys in the Hood, Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, Ice-T, LL Cool J, Biggie, Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
Salt and Pepper got honored twice then because I just saw them down below.
Yeah, they're running out of women.
Oh. maybe you know what? Maybe you're right. You're right. Hip hop honor should have stopped. I'm sorry.
They were running out of people, running out of ideas. I guess I don't know.
People that wanted to show up too.
Well, that too, because you're at this point, you're probably in competition with other things. So
with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm Dre. Dre don't like going nowhere.
No. Dre, if Dre ain't coming outside unless he get an award, and that's a given. He ain't coming outside. You gotta. It going like I was surprised to see Dre at the pop out. I was like, Dre at the pop out. Wow.
It was so culture of a moment. He had to get that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was glad to see him there, but I was still surprised that
because he don't come outside.
Because Dre don't come outside. Dre don't come outside for nothing. They said, man, that Dre be in the studio every single day. Like he get DoorDash to his crib. Like he don't come outside for nothing. He don't go to the mall. He don't go nowhere.
You never hear this like, yo, I just saw Dre at the Taco Bell. Like
you never see Dre like on vacation or nothing. Nothing. Mm-hmm. You don't even you know what? Dre got divorced. You don't even know who Dre dating now. Dre might be dating his keyboard.
That's how you don't know. And the only reason you probably knew his wife because she was kind of making him take pictures.
Exactly. And every time you see Dre, he got the same thing on. He got on a black shirt, black jeans, and some white Air Force Ones. Same outfit every time. So it's. But I was glad to see him at the pop out. But yeah, I'm not. I'm just surprised.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for listening to Hip Hop.
For sure.
What ifs is always hit us up, hiphopwhatifs@gmail.com. Hit us up if you got any questions, thoughts, and we will see y'all soon. Peace.
5 G's.
What if DOC never got into that car accident? What if Ice Cube didn't leave NWA? What if the Game never leaves G Unit? What if Teddy Riley never moves to Virginia? What if we got that J. Cole and Kendrick album? What if the RZA would have never had that flood? How would the hip-hop world sound today? Welcome to Hip Hop What Is, the podcast where we dive into the biggest what could have beens in hip hop history. From iconic album delays to game-changing partnerships that never happened. We reimagine the culture we love and explore its alternative paths. And you are now at Hip Hop What Ifs.